Once upon a time, in a small, cozy town named Maplewood, lived a spirited 10-year-old boy named Max. Max had been eagerly waiting for Halloween night all year long. He loved everything about it: the spooky decorations, the delicious candy, and especially the costumes. This year, Max decided to dress up as a vampire. He wore a long, flowing black cape with a high collar, a white shirt with a red vest, and a pair of fake fangs that made him look adorably spooky. As the sun set and the moon began to rise, Max grabbed his pumpkin-shaped candy bucket and set out into the crisp autumn night. His neighborhood was alive with excitement. Jack-o'-lanterns glowed on every porch, and children in colorful costumes filled the streets, their laughter echoing through the air. Max's first stop was Mrs. Thompson's house. She was known for giving out the best candy in town. As Max approached her front door, he could smell the sweet aroma of freshly baked cookies. He knocked on the door, and it swung open to reveal Mrs. Thompson, dressed as a friendly witch. "Trick or treat!" Max exclaimed, holding out his bucket with a big grin. "Oh my, what a frightfully fantastic vampire you are, Max," Mrs. Thompson said with a warm smile. She dropped a handful of candy bars into his bucket. "Happy Halloween!" Max thanked her and continued on his way, feeling the weight of his candy bucket grow heavier with each house he visited. He met his friends along the way, and they all admired each other's costumes. There was Sarah, who was dressed as a fairy princess, and Jake, who was a brave pirate. Together they went from house to house, collecting candy and sharing spooky stories. As they walked down Maple Street, they came across a house that was decorated with cobwebs, glowing ghosts, and a life-sized skeleton that waved at them. Max hesitated for a moment, but his friends encouraged him to go up to the door. "Come on, Max, it's all part of the fun," Jake said, his pirate hat tilting to one side. Max took a deep breath and approached the door. He knocked, and it slowly creaked open. Standing there was Mr. Jenkins, dressed as a mad scientist, complete with wild hair and a bubbling potion in his hand. "Trick or treat," Max said, trying to keep his voice steady. Mr. Jenkins chuckled. "You kids look fantastic. Here, take some candy and have a spooky night." He handed each of them a bag filled with candy and glow-in-the-dark stickers. Feeling braver, Max and his friends continued their adventure. They laughed and told jokes, their buckets now overflowing with treats. As the night went on, they decided to make one last stop at the house at the end of the street, which was rumored to be haunted. When they arrived, they saw it was decorated with eerie lights and fog that rolled over the lawn. Max's heart raced, but he reminded himself it was all in good fun. He walked up to the door, knocked, and waited. To his surprise, the door swung open to reveal a friendly ghost, a man dressed in a white sheet with eye holes cut out. "Happy Halloween, little vampires, fairies, and pirates," the ghost said with a chuckle. He handed them each a special treat, a small toy and a handful of candy. "Thanks for being brave enough to visit." Max and his friends thanked the ghost and made their way back home, their hearts full of joy and their buckets full of candy. As Max crawled into bed that night, he thought about all the fun he had and the new memories he made. He couldn't wait for next Halloween, but for now, he drifted off to sleep with a smile on his face, dreaming of all the adventures yet to come. And so, Max's Halloween night ended on a high note, filled with laughter, friendship, and just the right amount of spookiness. It was a night he would remember fondly for years to come.